Okay, I am live now. We are going to talk today about transitioning from work to home. Um, and it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you have a regular job, it really doesn't matter what kind of work you do. You may be in the military. Whatever you do, if you work away from the home, at some point, hopefully, you have to get home, whether it's to just be with the family, to eat supper or rest and relax. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I used to do because I used to work anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day. And I worked that 5 days a week. Usually I worked on a Saturday and I'd work anywhere from 8 to 12 hours on Saturday. And after church on Sunday and before Sunday night church service, I was working somewhere. It's just the way I'm made up. I like to work. I'm one of those people that love Mondays. I did not look forward to the weekend. So I believe my strategies will work for you, even if you are one of those people that can hardly wait for the weekend. I like Mondays because I got to work. I guess you like weekends because you don't like to work. So whatever it is, the only people that look forward to weekends, I think, are people that are in a job that they don't like. So I've enjoyed every job I've ever had. I didn't say I liked every job I ever had. I said I've enjoyed every job I've ever had. Even when I was digging ditches, before I went in the Navy, I had to take a temporary job digging ditches to support myself in between leaving home and going into the Navy. And found a way to make that fun. You can make anything fun, and it's all up here. It's all in your mind, your perception. So let me get, before I get too far, in case some of you want to get out of the video, let me tell you what I'll tell you about transitioning. When you work, no matter what kind of job it can be high stress, it could be high activity, it could be low stress, it could be just redundant, doing the same thing over and over and over. And whatever your job is, when you are ready to go home, here's what don't do, in my opinion. Don't spend the last hour at work thinking, I can hardly wait to get out of here. I just want to get home. And then you get out in traffic, boom, 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 zoom, 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 all over the place like a crazy maniac. Then you get home, you're highly irritated, you've driven like a maniac, you're stupid for driving that way in the first place. You have made yourself antithetical to the home environment because for the whole last hour of work, all you could think about, oh, I got to go home. Well, and then you get home and what do? You argue with your spouse or the children or the dog or whatever for an hour, hour and a half because you're so wound up you can hardly stand yourself. Yes, you do. Don't even, don't even give me that look. Yes, you do. I did it. So I know that some of you do it. Anyway, here's what I found out. Whatever work you do your best at it. While you're there, make the most of the time. Somehow find a way to make your job enjoyable, like I did with digging ditches. Then don't think about going home for the last hour of your job. Your work performance will suffer greatly, affecting the company's performance. Snowball, it rolls downhill. Okay. Work. And when it's time to get off work, not 5 minutes till you're getting your purse together, your coat together, your whatever. Work until you're off. If you get off at 5, you get off at 5. Then get your purse, then get your coat, then get yourself together and leave. Walk out to the car at a normal pace, not running like a, oh man, I have have watched people at the end of the day and seen them run to their car, start the car up, snapping their seatbelt up as they threw it in gear and squealing out of the parking lot. This wasn't a one-time thing. This is them every day. What is, as if acting like a maniac is going to get them 3 seconds ahead of somebody on the interstate. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I'm just telling you what I have seen in my own my own work life. Okay, get out, get yourself situated, make sure the mirrors are adjusted, and take a second. Take 5 seconds. Start the car up, however you start your car. Pull out like somebody that's got sense and drive into the highway, avenue, street, onto the interstate, wherever, however you get home. And drive at a normal pace. And the reason I say that is every city is different, every locality is different. Some places speed limit is 55, but everybody around you is doing 70. If you did 55, you would impede traffic. Go with the flow of traffic, not the way that some of the people drive. But if the traffic is flowing along at 70 miles an hour, then that's what the traffic is in that area. If where you're at, the traffic flows at 35 miles an hour, then do 35. It's not going to make any difference big time in your whole life scheme for taking a few extra minutes to get home safely. And like I said, you know your traffic in your locale. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything different. Go with the flow, not against the flow. Not trying to beat the flow. Just go with the flow. So then when you arrive home, and there's a lot of ways nowadays that you can do when there weren't cell phones. Yes, that's how old I am. When there weren't cell phones, I would call my wife before I left work. Of course, I would just chit chat a couple 3 minutes. But basically, depending on the weather, I'd say, could you please have me a cup of coffee or a glass of iced tea or a cup of hot chocolate waiting? Well, she knew to have me something waiting, and she pretty much knew what to have me waiting because of the weather, but that was just part of our conversation. If there was anything news at home, she didn't tell me about it. If I had any news at work, I didn't tell her about it. This was just time between us as I traveled home. She usually got home before me because she was a teacher. So when I got home, my wife already knew I don't need to fool with the kids. I have to transition from work to home. Yes, there is a transition. You can't just go home as soon as you hit the door. In this case, my wife is on here telling me about everything that happened today, and the kids won't tell me all the stuff that happened to them and how the dog did this, the cat did that, or you don't need that. I didn't need that. What I needed was peace and quiet. So most of the time, she would fix me a glass of tea, and I'd get home. Back then, you could actually watch the news. And I say, I'm just going to sit in the living room for a half hour and watch the evening news. And she said, okay. So she would keep the kids away from the living room 30 minutes. Sat there, drank my glass of tea, watched whatever was on the news at that time, back when news was actually honest. And then I would go back in to the kitchen to refill my tea glass, which meant okay, I'm relaxed. I have transitioned. I'm home now. Now I'm dad, or I'm the husband, or I'm whatever. Okay, so then the kids would come in and they would tell me all about their day and everything that happened. She would tell me things that happened or calls or whatever happened at school or, you know, then we would go to supper. And supper, or dinner for some of you, we did not discuss negative stuff, you know, things that will upset your stomach to where you get so irritated you can't even digest your food right. We talked about fun things or things that we might want to do or light subjects like the cat did this or the dog did that. And it was so much fun watching them, or, stuff that's fun and easy to talk about after supper. If there were any heavy issues dealing with us or the children, then we would discuss that. Uh, it's important that you have this transition time more than I can express to you. If you are one of the people like I used to be, come from work and as soon as you get home, boom, everything hits you. That's what it feels like. Boom! Somebody popped you right in the face. It is not fun. It didn't take very long for us to rearrange how we did things, especially after children. We waited 5 years to have children, and we'd pretty much got to know each other by that time. And so when we had children, to bring them into the system or our lives uh, was actually pretty simple. And it doesn't hurt to have fantastic children like we have. So anyway, I mean, everybody says their children are perfect. Ours actually were perfect. So we had great children, still do, and their children are great kids, our grandkids. We've even got great grandkids now. I don't know too much about some of them. Some of them I do, because they live further away. But you need transition, even if it's just you and your spouse. Uh, you need about 30 minutes, usually, most people, to just sit, talk. I don't suggest a glass of wine in this transition period. Tea, coffee, hot chocolate, uh, you know, something like that. Something non carbonated and non alcoholic. And the reason is the carbonation and alcohol do have an adverse effect on your nervous system. So by having tea or coffee or hot chocolate, you have less adverse effects, even if it's caffeinated coffee or tea. Also, take time to, in the mornings when you're leaving, you're transitioning from home to work. This is something else I had to do, and I had to learn to do this. At home, everything's, sometimes it was hectic, sometimes it wasn't. Usually it wasn't very hectic because we had everything organized for the kids for school or whatever, and getting them off to school was pretty simplistic. Um, Actually, I can't remember a hectic time leaving home. So anyway, try to have everything organized the night before so to make your next morning run smoothly. I always got to work a minimum of 15 minutes and usually 30 minutes before I started to work. And I know, oh man, it's been so many years ago, way back there, maybe when I was 17 or 18, 19, I used to get to work like a minute before I was supposed to start. Man, don't do that. Not not only does it show you hate your job, it you cannot you don't have any transition time. I learned when I worked at the factory for a while to get to work always a half hour early. I would sit out, get myself something to drink, and just relax 30 minutes before I had to go in and start work. That was my transition time. So when I started work, the machines ran smoothly. I had no problems interacting with other people on the floor. It was a great experience. I did notice people that didn't do that, that would get to work at the last minute, and oh man, their lives were chaotic the whole entire time I worked there. It just one chaotic moment to another, and this happened in their life and that happened in their life, and they would go around all day long talking, oh, my husband did this, and oh, my family did that, and it was just, it was really not pleasant to work around them. So you do need transition. You need to do transition that fits you and your family. I mean, that was what I did in my family. Find something that works for you and your spouse, and kids and pets. Pets are real loving. However, sometimes you don't need to love. It's like, don't love me right now. Go sit, whatever. So you know your situation and your makeup better than I do. So find a time to transition. Make up your mind that you are going to have a, I'm going to say tranquil, that's the best word I can think of right now, a tranquil life. It doesn't mean boring, it means tranquil. It means your nerves aren't on edge all the time where you can't enjoy anything. A great way to do that is to order some of our gourmet coffee, a step above coffee. We're getting a new blend. It's a Brazilian blend. And actually, it's to all of you leaded drinkers like I used to be all the time. We have a medium roast and a dark roast, and the dark roast is probably going to be as strong or stronger than most of you are used to with caffeinated coffee. It's very good coffee. They use a Swiss method. It's a French roast, but they use a Swiss decaffeinating method. Also, the my 2021 mug, which I do not have one right here right now. I apologize. Usually I've got one at hand. 2021 mug, how to live your life a step above. Those mugs are $20 each, plus $6.95 shipping for any number of mugs. So if you have 4 people in your family and you want a mug for each, it's $20 per mug plus just a flat $6.95 shipping cost for us. And let's see what else. Had a great book signing on Saturday at the Museum of the Island on Pine Island, Florida. That was a lot of fun. Sold my Cut the Cloth book and my newest book, which is A Hard Oiled Mystery. You can find that on Amazon.com. A Hard Oiled, OILED, Mystery by J. Wesley Booth. You'll enjoy it. It's in the Kindle version and the print version. Also working on a brand new book that's coming out very soon, within the next 90 days, I hope. I'm not going to guarantee that. It's a lot of work going into this. Anyhow, hopefully within the next 90 to 180 days, the new book will be out, which is a continuation of the Chandler Diamond series, Private Eye, that I created for the 1940s. Anyway, make it a terrific day. Enjoy your life. Find some way to make transition feasible in your home.